Welcome back everyone. So today I'm making brown stew chicken. Well, my take on a brown stew chicken. It's a family favourite, they all love it. There's always clean plates all around and it's just a crowd pleaser. So yeah, let's get to it. Here are my ingredients. So I've got some spring onions or scallions. I've got 4 of those. They're not huge, they're quite small actually. So I've gone for 4. I've got some fresh thyme, a nice bundle. I don't usually say add 4 sprigs of thyme. I just get a bundle and if it looks enough, then it's enough. I've also got some Scotch bonnet peppers. They're fresh, very spicy, very hot, and yeah, that will definitely give the dish some heat. We'll see when I cut these whether these are good enough or whether they could be better. Anyway, I'm talking too much. So garlic, I'm using 4 nice fat cloves. I've already peeled them, so they're ready for me to crush. So other ingredients I'm using, ketchup, I'm using browning. That will give it a nice colour and a little bit of sweetness as well. Some salt and a little bit of W sauce. So for this dish, I'm using chicken thighs with the bone in. I guess some prefer boneless, but I think the bone just gives it flavour and it doesn't all fall apart when it's cooking. So yeah, here are my chicken thighs. I've already cleaned those, I've prepped those already. I've taken the skin off, I've removed a lot of the fat and the stringy bits that you get, because I don't like those stringy bits. So yeah, that's already prepped, cleaned, washed, all of that good stuff. Now I'm going to season it. So I'm going to start by adding some salt. I'll just give it a nice sprinkling of salt. That should do it. So now I've added the salt, I'm going to move this out of the way and I am going to start prepping the fresh ingredients. So I've just put them in a bowl. They're already washed. So yeah, they're ready to be prepped and added to my chicken. There we go. So now I'm just going to add that in to the pot. Right now I'm going to, I guess there's no right or wrong way to season your chicken. As long as it all goes in and gets mixed around, it's going to taste good. So let's go. We're going to just chop the Scotch bonnet. I like to finely slice these. So yeah, I'm smelling it and I'm not getting that lovely fruity, peppery smell that you get from the ripe Scotch bonnet. So these, they'll give it heat, but not much flavour, unfortunately. That's a shame. Never mind. Yeah, that will do. Now these go into the pot. But I won't use my hands because I don't have gloves on. And that means that I'm going to get all that pepper on my fingers, which means I might burn myself later on. No matter how many times you wash your hands after chopping the pepper, you can never seem to get rid of the pepper. the flaminess. What even do you call it? The hotness? The heat? I don't know. But it's going in the pot. All of those seeds as well. The seeds add more spice. Some people like to take the seeds out, I guess. Depends on your heat tolerance. But I like to keep the seeds in. Okay, that's it for the pepper. Now I'm going to add my thyme, fresh thyme. So I'm going to just literally take the leaves off of the stalk instead of chopping it all with the woody stalk, because it's not very pleasant to eat, that woody hard stalk. So yeah, I'm just going to do this real quick. And the leaves just easily slide off, see? No work at all. Look how it's looking so far. Look, doesn't that look colourful? That looks lovely. I guess I am going to use the whole bunch of thyme. Yeah, I'm going to use the whole bunch because it smells really, really delicious and it just adds more flavour. don't trust people that just use 2 or 3 sprigs of thyme. Who does that? This is going to be good. Now for my garlic. So, like I said, I've got 4 nice. Oops. I have got 4 nice fat bulbs of garlic. Not even bulbs, they're cloves, aren't they? It was a really big fat bulb though, so I've just taken the biggest cloves from the bulb. So I'm just going to crush them. There we go, and then give them a just roughly chop, I guess. I don't think you can ever have too much garlic. Let me know. Do you have limitations on your garlic? I also don't trust people that use 1 clove of garlic. Do you? That looks roughly chopped enough. Look at that. Oops. So that's literally going to go into the pot. There we go. Get all that garlic off with a knife. Now look how that looks now. Those lovely fresh ingredients are in there. Now I'm going to add a nice squeeze of that. There we go. That's probably about 2 tablespoons that I've used of that one. Now I'm going to add some browning. There we go. Only a little bit of this though, because we don't want it too dark. But we want to give it some colour at the same time. Oh, that will do. That's probably about a tablespoon. I'm just going to give it a dash of that. There we go. Now it's time to mix. But guess what? I've got no gloves, so I'll be right back. So I have run out of kitchen gloves. But don't worry, because plan B, use a freezer bag. Just put your hand in it, make a temporary a DIY glove so you don't get all that pepper and all those lovely, lovely flavours in your fingernails and all over the place. And just give it a mix. Use your hands. Anyone who's mixing or seasoning chicken and mixing it with a spoon, don't trust them. You cannot trust them, I'm telling you. You have to make sure all of those flavours go into that chicken, into all the slices. You have to slice your chicken after you've cleaned it. You slice it. So look, oh, it's a very slippery job. But look, you can see I've sliced it. And for that reason, we have to mix it good. Make sure all that lovely, lovely flavour and all the seasonings, the peppers, the onions, the garlic, make sure that's all inside the chicken, not just sitting on top of the chicken, you know. There we go. The smell is just divine. It smells so, so good. And it looks amazing. I know this is going to be delicious. There we go. And the colours, it's so colourful, it's so vibrant. That is how food should look. Not beige or bland. It has to be, you know, flavoured. Look at that. Now that is going to sit and marinate for, I don't know, a few hours. So I'm going to cover it with some cling film and just leave it to rest in the fridge and let the flavours do its flavoury thing. To accompany my stew chicken, I'm going to make some rice and peas. Now, I'm using a whole onion, which I've just literally cut in half. I'm going to chop this quite finely actually. Again, another little bunch of thyme. I don't do sprigs, I just do little bunches, big bunches, you know. 1 Scotch bonnet, not a huge one this time, and I'm going to leave that whole. A few pimento berries, they're dried ones, but look. Oh. Everything seems to be falling out of my hands today. But yeah, some pimento berries there. And also a clove or 2 of garlic, a nice good size. Again, more flavour. Now when you buy coconut milk, you should always look at the back. Yeah, just be careful, just look at the back and it will tell you the ratio of coconut milk and water. So you want to get one with more coconut milk, obviously. The peas are the only thing that I managed to prepare yesterday. They've been soaking overnight, just in some plain water. So I'm going to empty that water, change the water basically, and get it on to cook. The peas are boiling now on the stove. I'm just going to use a spoon and just skim all of that off the top and get rid of that. We don't want that. We're going to get rid of that. Right now, I'm going to add all of my spices to the pot with the peas in it and let that cook for a little bit of time, probably like 15 minutes or so, just so the flavours can infuse and it can do its thing, you know? I'm not going to add that yet. When the rice goes in, then I'll add that last, because if that goes into the boiling water for too long, it could bust open and then we've got a really fiery, peppery rice and peas, and that's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for a bit of flavour. And then in with the pimento. Just give it a little mix. There we go. Nice. And then just season it with some salt. There we go. Lid on. And that, I'm just going to leave that for about 15 minutes before I add the rice and all the other bits. They look good, they look done. So I'm going to just add the rest of my ingredients. So coconut milk, and I'm going to give that a stir and then bring it back to the boil before I add the rice. So look, you can see that it's boiling now. I'll be using basmati rice. I didn't have any long grain. This is all I had in the cupboard. It's a good quality one though, and it will have to do, and it will be nice. So yeah, basmati rice for my rice and peas. Oh, I have already washed the rice as well, so I've run it under some cold water until the starch and all the cloudiness disappears. I'm going to add the rice. Rice is in. I'll just give it a little stir. Just mix it around a bit. Looks like it could do with a splash of water. So I'm going to just add some from the kettle, some boiling water, just a little bit. There we go. And then in with my Scotch bonnet. And cover it with a lid, turn it down, and let that cook away for about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Not long, it's basmati, so we don't want to ruin the rice. So I'll see you in 10. The rice is done. It took around 15 minutes or so for it to cook properly. I've even had to give it an extra covering just to keep the steam in so it can cook properly. And here it is. There we go, nice loose grains, you can see that, hold on. Yeah, you can smell the flavours, it's proper. I didn't add too many peas in it because I don't really like too many peas in my rice and peas. This chicken's been marinating for around 3 hours now. So look, you can see that the flavours are all infused, it looks very flavoury, and it's ready for cooking. So the plan is I'm going to brown the chicken in the pot first and then remove one by one once I've got the right colour that I'm looking for. So I'll just put it onto the plate and then repeat the process until all of the chicken's brown, and then it all goes back into the pot to finish cooking. That makes sense, but you'll see what I mean. The oil looks about done, it's hot enough, So yeah, in with the sugar. I'm just going to put in a tablespoon each time I brown the chicken. I'll just keep adding the tablespoon. Caramelize, and then we can start cooking. So that's what we're looking for. It's a nice golden colour. It's kind of bubbly, very bubbly. So in with the chicken before that burns. There we go. So what I've done is I've scraped off the majority of the seasoning because that's going to burn otherwise, and I'll just add it back after the browning process. So I'm just going to do this and repeat the process until I've browned all of my chicken. Here's how it's looking so far. So it's the last of the chicken that's browning. Plus the rest of it all browned and looking lovely. Ready to go back into the pot to finish cooking. Doesn't it look good already? It's not even done yet, but it looks good. So I've added all of the chicken that's been browned back into the pot. Gonna put the lid on and let that just cook for another maybe 45 minutes until the bone is clean, literally, till it's cooked right through to the bone. Then it's done. It looks good, look at that. Look at the colours. You know it's gonna taste nice. That's not even gonna taste nice. It's gonna be like the best thing, honestly. The flavours, the smell. It's delicious. It looks delicious and it's going to taste as good as it looks. So finally it's done. It took about an hour and 20 minutes to be cooked properly. But there we go. That's my brown stew chicken. All done. It's very hot. I've only just turned it off. But look, you can see all the flavours. It looks delicious and it smells beautiful, honestly. It smells really, really, really good. Just time to plate it up now.